If there's one thing time proves, it's that a good racing game doesn't age. It becomes a classic. And the curious thing is that many of these classics simply fly under the radar. Sometimes because they got stuck on an old console, sometimes because they were overshadowed by bigger franchises, and sometimes because we just never gave them the chance they deserved. Today, I've brought you 10 incredible classic racing games that, if you haven't played yet, you urgently need to do so in 2026. We've got arcade racing with that coin-op energy, games with soundtracks that get stuck in your head, surprising physics that still haven't been topped, and tracks so good they make you want to memorize every curve. So come with me, because this list is insane. I'm Matthew, and the video starts now. Forza Horizon 5 is that type of racing game you recommend almost automatically, because it's not just graphically good, it's a place you want to return to every time you turn on the console. In 2026, if a person likes driving in a game even a little bit, it's almost a sin not to have taken a spin through the vibrant Mexico the game offers. There is something very pleasurable about simply picking any car from your garage, marking a point on the map, and going, without rushing, just enjoying the road, the landscapes, and the soundtrack that fits perfectly with every setting. The map is a show on its own, and honestly, it's one of the reasons Forza Horizon 5 stands out compared to other open-world racing games. You leave a desert full of sandstorms, enter tropical forests, cross colorful historic cities, and before you know it, you're climbing a volcano with snow at the peak, all within a single game. This variety isn't just visual. Every terrain type changes how the car behaves, so you feel the difference between tearing up asphalt with a supercar and tackling mud and dirt with a rugged off-roader. Another thing that makes the game mandatory is how it respects the way each player approaches a campaign. The story is structured as a big car festival across Mexico, with dozens of events that reward you for what you like doing most. Street racing, off-road, stunts, drifting, time trials. You choose where you want to go first. The cool part is that the campaign doesn't trap you in a straight line. It gives you the freedom to build your own trajectory within the festival. So there's always that just one more race feeling before turning it off. In terms of content, Forza Horizon 5 is almost infinite. And that's great for anyone wanting a racing game to call their main game of 2026. Besides the main campaign, there are seasonal events, daily and weekly challenges, collectibles scattered across the map, and those special events that feel almost like action movie set pieces. If you like to explore, there's always something new to do, whether it's hunting for a car in a hidden barn or trying to beat a speed record at a radar trap in the middle of nowhere. The social and customization aspect is also a point where the game shines and adds a lot of personality to the experience. You can play with friends in co-op and competitive modes, face a car battle royale, enter more serious races, or just mess around in crazy challenges that pop up on the map. Aside from that, there's a whole layer of customization: paint jobs, car tuning, part swapping, body kits, and even creating custom events with a robust tool for the community, which keeps the game always alive with new content. Forza Horizon 5 is that game that, even if you aren't a hardcore fan of racing, is well worth testing in 2026, precisely because it functions almost like an amusement park on wheels. You can play casually, with assists on, just, enjoying the visuals, music, and sense of speed. Or you can turn everything off, adjust the difficulty, and treat every curve like a mini skill test. If the idea is to recommend a truly unmissable racing game for the year, this one easily makes the list of ones you need to try at least once, even if only to understand why so many people consider it one of the best of the generation. Gran Turismo 7 is that type of racing game that if you like cars even slightly, you need to put on your 2026 list without mercy or hesitation. It's not just a beautiful simulator, it is practically an automotive theme park where every launch, every curve, and even every defeat tells a different story. It's the kind of game you turn on just to run 2 races, and before you know it, you're debating with yourself which 90s hot hatch deserves a new turbo. One of the things that grips you most in Gran Turismo 7 is the heavy return to the solo campaign. That classic GT simulation mode vibe where you start small, buy a used car, do license tests, and feel your garage growing little by little. The game guides you through the menu books at the cafe, which function almost like a love letter script to automotive culture. Each objective isn't just win the race, it's understanding the history of certain categories, manufacturers, and generations of cars. This makes you get attached to vehicles in a very personal way, as if every mediocre little car from the beginning was a character in your career. Another point that makes GT7 special is the absurd amount of cars and tracks, and how each combination has its own personality. There are over 420 cars, from Japanese classics that look like they came straight out of a late-night street meet, to modern supercars that make you rethink the concept of braking too late, running on over 90 track layouts with dynamic weather that completely changes how you tackle every lap. And the best part is that no car feels generic. You feel different weight, different traction, the engine responding in another way, and this gets addictive. You start entering races just to feel a new car. If you enjoy tweaking setups, GT7 is practically an infinite toy. Part shop, fine-tuning suspension, brakes, transmission, aerodynamics, everything ready for you to transform a common car into a track monster. And at the same time, it remains accessible for those who don't want to become engineers. You can activate assists, let the game hold your hand, and still have fun, learn the racing line, and slowly turn off the crutches. It's that game where both the guy who lives by telemetry and the person who just wants to sit on the couch after work can find a nice balance of challenge and fun. On the PlayStation 5, the immersion takes a leap that makes a difference, especially if you like to feel the car, not just see it. The use of the SSD practically kills loading times, so you get in and out of races very fast. And the DualSense works hard. Triggers locking up on heavy braking, nuanced vibration for track types, the sensation of tires losing grip. Everything helps your brain forget this is a video game. Visually, replays and the photo mode with ray tracing are a show apart, with wet track reflections, light hitting the bodywork, and scenes that look like manufacturer catalog photos. And when you get tired of racing alone, the competitive side comes in to hold you for a few hundred more hours. The game inherits a lot from sport mode, focusing on more serious online races, but also brings split-screen local multiplayer and special events, which is perfect for testing if your friends are as good as they say in the group chat. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is the crazy racing game every Sonic fan needs to try, especially if you enjoy that chaotic kart vibe with dimensional twists that leave every lap unpredictable. I keep imagining the adrenaline of leading the race and choosing a ring of passage to throw everyone into a new world, full of giant monsters and obstacles that change everything. It's as if Sonic Team took the best of Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed and threw it into a blender with interdimensional portals. Pure fun chaos that gets you addicted instantly. The mechanic of the Rings of Passage is the pulsating heart of this game, transporting you and your rivals to 15 different CrossWorlds, where the tracks come to life with surprises at every turn. Race on land, dive into the sea, fly through the air, or even space, and the tracks transform radically with every lap, forcing you to adapt your driving style on the fly. I love how this punishes those who race on autopilot. One moment you're drifting on dry asphalt, the next you're navigating giant waves, heart in your mouth. The roster of 23 iconic characters from the Sonic and Sega universe is the biggest in the series, and the best part is that no one is tied to a specific vehicle. Mix Sonic with a Sonic Riders Extreme Gear hoverboard and watch the magic happen. There are 45 original vehicles with unique stats for speed, acceleration, and handling, plus 70 gadgets to equip like in an RPG, giving boosts, shields, or extra impulses that change the game. Personalize everything. Mixed parts, colors, decals, even on the interior. I spend hours in the garage creating custom monsters that match my aggressive racing style. Powerful items return with full force, 23 in total, including classics and new features like the monster truck that crushes rivals, perfect for turning races around when you're behind. The modes are varied: solo Grand Prix, local split screen in the new race park for messing around with friends, online, with up to 12 players in World Match, or time trials to train. It's that game that works for everything, from a quick post-work session to serious online tournaments, always with Sonic's frenetic energy. Visually, the 24 tracks are a spectacle, with CrossWorlds full of living landscapes, portal effects, and transformations that look like a Segovian amusement park. DLCs keep it fresh, with packs like the free Nights with Dream Sleeper, Minecraft, SpongeBob, and more content coming through 2026, adding characters, vehicles, and themed tracks. On PS5, Switch, or PC, it runs smooth, with fast loading and cross-platform multiplayer support that brings the crowd together. If you haven't played Sonic Racing CrossWorlds yet, 2026 is the perfect moment to dive into this dimensional warp and become the king of mutant tracks. It captures the crazy essence of Sonic in races, with infinite customization and twists that make every match unique. Trust me, it's going to become your annual addiction. The Crew Motorfest is one of those games that, even after launch, continues to grow and surprise. And for those who haven't tried it yet, 2026 is the perfect time to dive headfirst into this racing festival on the islands of Hawaii. What grabs my attention the most is how the game transforms Hawaii into a living track, with a variety of biomes, ranging from the urban center of Honolulu to volcanic shores and tropical forests. Every curve, every road seems to have been made to make you feel the weight of the car and the wind hitting the window. The DualSense feedback on PS5 is incredible. You can feel everything from the gear shifting to the engine roar vibrating in the palm of your hand. The racing system is robust, with playlists ranging from traditional events to bolder ones, like car triathlons, where you need to switch between different categories in the same race. The cars have a sense of weight and grip that makes cornering and drifting become a real experience, especially when you turn off the assists and face the real challenge. But the game isn't just racing. There are tons of side activities like photo hunts, police chases, and even Hot Wheels-inspired events arriving in 2026 with new islands and crazy tracks, like roller coasters and magnetic tracks. And if you enjoy customizing your car, the customization system is more complete, with new accessories and even exclusive wheels from partners like BMW. The soundtrack also deserves a mention, mixing classic rock and electronic music, creating a party atmosphere that perfectly matches the spirit of the game. The engine sounds are practically faithful to the real ones, and you really feel the noise of the car when accelerating or braking hard. Anyway, the Crew Motorfest is one of those games worth every minute, whether you're a hardcore racing fan or just want to enjoy a relaxed vibe on the Hawaiian roads.
Breathe in its leather and whisper, girl, let's get out of here.
Grid Legends is one of the racing games that truly surprised in recent years, especially if you like immersive experiences full of drama on the track. What caught my attention from the start was how it mixes a cinematic campaign with exciting races, almost as if you were living a motorsport movie. It's not just about winning races, it's about feeling every overtake, every crash, and every decision that can change the course of your career. The game's story is told in a documentary format, with choices that influence how events unfold and your relationship with other drivers. This creates a unique sense of being the protagonist. You really feel part of that narrative, not just a passive spectator. It's hard to find a racing game that manages to deliver as much emotional involvement as Grid Legends does, especially when you need to make tough decisions that affect your reputation and alliances. The gameplay is another strong point. The races are dynamic, with physics that blend realism and accessibility, making the game fun for both beginners and veterans. The cars respond well, the circuits are varied, and the game modes ensure hours of fun, especially with the championship mode and custom races. The damage system is also well done, showing every hit, every scratch, which makes everything more realistic and intense. The visuals and sound are impressive. The cars look real, the environments are detailed, and the soundtrack perfectly matches the tense atmosphere of the races. The documentary camera mode adds a special touch, as if you were watching the behind the scenes of a professional team. This visual and audio immersion is something few racing games manage to deliver so consistently. For those who haven't played it yet, it's worth trying Grid Legends in 2026. It's a game that grows over time, especially with the updates and new content released after launch. Even if you aren't a racing fan, the engaging narrative and variety of experiences might win you over. It's a game that manages to balance adrenaline, drama, and fun in a rare way. Grid Legends is more than just a racing simulator. It's a cinematic, emotional experience full of memorable moments. If you're looking for something different within the genre, with a story that grips you and races that keep you on edge, this is the game for you in 2026. Art of Rally is a racing game that really conquered me with its unique atmosphere and the way it celebrates rally history with so much style. It's not just about driving fast, it's about feeling the emotion of winding roads, dangerous curves, and the wind hitting the car, all with a minimalist and colorful aesthetic that transforms every track into a work of art. The game delivers an experience that goes beyond traditional racing, with a top-down camera that puts you in the center of the action, but in a different way, more artistic and engaging. What marked me the most was how the game tells the history of rally, following a timeline from the 60s through the following decades. Every new car you unlock isn't just a vehicle, but a living piece of motorsport history, with details about its origin, design, and why it became iconic. It's as if you were traveling through time, experiencing the sport's evolution, and this gives a special weight to every race you enter. The gameplay is challenging but accessible, with difficulty options and controls that allow both beginners and veterans to have fun. You can choose between manual or automatic transmission, adjust opponent difficulty, and even try classic rally techniques like the Scandinavian flick and countersteering. The minimalist visual style not only makes the game light, but also helps keep the focus on the tracks and challenges without unnecessary visual distractions. Besides career mode, which is the heart of the game, there are free modes, daily challenges, and custom events that ensure hours of fun. You can explore the maps, collect items, and even compete online, but the career mode is what truly hooks you, especially when you start to understand the evolution of the cars and tracks over the decades. Every stage seems carefully thought out to involve you and make you want to race more. The camera mode and replay function are details that make all the difference, allowing you to rewatch your best moments and even create videos of those spectacular overtakes. It's perfect for those who like to share their achievements or simply appreciate the beauty of a good race. The game is also available on various platforms, including PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, which makes it quite easy for anyone wanting to try this unique experience. If you haven't played Art of Rally yet, don't put it off. In 2026, this game remains one of the most original and captivating experiences within the racing genre. It mixes history, art, and adrenaline in a way few manage to, and it's perfect for those who want to live the emotion of rally without needing an ultra-realistic simulator. If you enjoy a good challenge, a distinctive look, and a story that draws you in, Art of Rally is mandatory on your list. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged is that game that makes you feel like a kid again, with cars that look like they came straight out of your childhood playtime, but with an adrenaline rush that only a modern racing game can deliver. From the very first moment, it throws you onto crazy tracks, full of loops, giant ramps, and obstacles that demand quick reflexes and courage to attempt risky maneuvers. It's impossible not to have fun watching the cars flying, crashing, and pulling off stunts that only exist in dreams. The game brings a gigantic variety of cars, including Hot Wheels classics and new additions like ATVs and motorcycles, which makes everything even more dynamic. Each vehicle has its own characteristics, and you can customize style and performance to adapt to your way of racing. The skill and upgrade system allows you to improve your cars and unlock new powers, which keeps the experience always fresh and full of possibilities. The campaign is one of the high points, with an engaging story that places you alongside new characters in an adventure to save the city from crazy creatures. The game modes are varied and creative, with challenges like elimination, drift, item collection, and even modes where you need to cause the most chaos possible. Furthermore, the track creation mode is more powerful than ever, allowing you to build and share your own crazy tracks with the community. The graphics are vibrant and colorful, and every environment looks made to provoke you into trying increasingly daring stunts. The tracks are detailed and change according to the vehicle type and terrain, which requires you to think strategically about which car to use in each situation. The game also offers online and offline modes, so you can compete with friends or challenge yourself in different game modes. The livery editor is another highlight, allowing you to make your vehicles unique and create designs that reflect your personality. You can share your creations with other players, which makes the game even more fun and full of creative possibilities. It's hard not to get excited seeing the tracks and cars created by the community. If you haven't played Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged yet, don't put it off. In 2026, it remains one of the most fun and creative experiences in the racing genre. With a mix of nostalgia, adrenaline, and customization, it's a game that will hook you for hours and make you laugh with every crazy maneuver. Anyone who likes speed, challenges, and creativity will fall in love with this crazy Hot Wheels universe. Disney Speedstorm is a kart-style racing game focused on combat, using Disney and Pixar characters on tracks inspired by their worlds, very much in that arcade and chaotic spirit that recalls fighting for position the whole time. It is also free to play on mobile, PC, and consoles, so in 2026, it still makes a lot of sense for anyone who has never touched it and wants to jump in without a price barrier. The roster is one of the biggest reasons to come back for just one more race, because each racer has unique skills that truly change how you attack, defend, and contest corners. There are very clear examples of this in the game itself, like Mulan with her Firework Barrage, and Sully with Fearsome Roar, which pushes rivals away and interacts with Boost in a very characteristic way. The tracks are made to look like speed theme parks, with circuits inspired by famous movies and settings from Disney/Pixar. The official site even cites specific places, like the docks from the Pirates of the Caribbean island, and areas like the Jungle Ruins, which gives that nice feeling of tourism inside a race. On the competitive side, you can race alone or challenge other people in multiplayer modes, including the cross-platform play idea. This is the kind of thing that keeps the game alive for years, because there's always someone to test your strength against, and there's always a race that turns into chaos out of nowhere, in the best sense. Another thing I like is that the game lets you customize your racers, with suits and kart modifications to suit your style. And since the proposal is to have content arriving frequently, with new racers and tracks entering regularly, it ends up becoming that comfort game you revisit when you want something quick, beautiful, and competitive. For those who haven't played yet, Disney Speedstorm in 2026 is an easy recommendation. It's free to play on various platforms and still has a lot to explore, unlock, and master. If the vibe is fun racing plus character skills plus colorful brawling, this one delivers exactly that. And the feeling of learning a new racer is just as good as winning a tight race. Redout 2 is a futuristic racing game that hooked me from the very first moment, with its mind-blowing speed and the sensation of piloting a ship at high velocity through crazy tracks. It is a direct tribute to the classics of the genre like F-Zero and Wipeout, but with modern visuals and gameplay that mixes arcade and simulation in a unique way. Every curve, every jump, and every overtake seems to challenge the limits of physics, and that is exactly what makes the game so addictive. The campaign is extensive, with hundreds of events across 36 different tracks, all reversible and full of obstacles, loops, and challenges that demand quick reflexes and refined technique. Additionally, there are modes like Arena, Time Attack, Last Man Standing, and even boss races, which makes the experience always varied and unpredictable. The competitive multiplayer mode allows online battles with up to 12 players, ensuring you always have someone to challenge on the tracks. The customization system is one of the game's high points. You can choose between 12 different chassis and customize every detail of your vehicle, from thrusters to airfoils and paint jobs. This allows you to create a ship that truly reflects your piloting style, and still gives room to experiment and find the perfect setup for each track. Photo mode is another highlight, allowing you to capture epic angles of your races and share them with other fans. The soundtrack of Redout 2 is another differentiator, with names like Giorgio Moroder, Zardonic, and Dance with the Dead, creating an electronic and futuristic atmosphere that matches the speed of the tracks perfectly. The game even features dynamic remixes that change according to the rhythm of the race, making every moment even more immersive. The game's visuals are impressive, with dystopian and detailed environments that make you feel inside a futuristic universe. The tracks pass through abandoned cities, Martian landscapes, and even devastated areas, creating a constant sense of adventure and danger. The Unreal Engine 4 engine gives a clean and fluid look, even on the fastest and most chaotic tracks. If you haven't played Redout 2 yet, it is well worth trying in 2026. It remains one of the most intense and customizable experiences within the futuristic racing genre. With an extensive campaign, competitive multiplayer, deep customization, and a top-notch soundtrack, it's a game that will hold you for hours and leave you wanting more and more speed. Assetto Corsa Competizione is one of the most realistic racing simulators I've ever had the pleasure of trying, and even in 2026, it remains a reference for those seeking authenticity on the track. The game brings the official atmosphere of the Blancpain GT Series Championship, with cars, teams, and circuits reproduced with impressive precision, making you feel as if you were really in the cockpit of a GT3. Every detail, from the engine sound to the behavior of the tires and aerodynamics, is thought out to immerse the player in the experience of a professional driver. The career mode is one of the high points, taking you from the first steps in amateur categories to the elite leagues, facing unique challenges and evolving your driver throughout different championships. The progression is well thought out, requiring you to master every car and every track, in addition to learning to manage setups, strategies, and even behavior in different weather conditions. It is a true challenge, but also an extremely rewarding experience when you finally master that perfect lap. The game's physics are another differentiator. The mathematical model that simulates car behavior takes into account tire wear, track temperature, fuel, and even suspension and aerodynamic adjustments. This means that every race is unique, and you need to be attentive to all details to extract the maximum from your car. Unreal Engine 4 ensures photorealistic graphics, detailed environments, and weather effects that change the rhythm of the race with every lap. The multiplayer is extremely competitive, with a ranking system that ensures fair battles between drivers of the same skill level. Special events like endurance races and the 24 Hours of Spa are true tests of skill and stamina, demanding strategy, patience, and a lot of concentration. The game is also compatible with professional steering wheels, which increases realism and immersion even further. Furthermore, Assetto Corsa Competizione offers varied game modes such as quick races, championships, and custom events, allowing you to choose how you want to challenge yourself on the tracks. Tutorials and assist levels are useful for beginners, but the game also has enough depth to keep veterans engaged for a long time. If you haven't played Assetto Corsa Competizione yet, it is well worth trying in 2026. It remains one of the most complete and immersive racing simulators available, with an engaging campaign, competitive multiplayer, and fidelity to the real world that few can match. If you are looking for a truly realistic racing experience, this is the game for you.
Still a long way to go.